Trump is coming back in office January 20th. But the question is, will his administration make it better for Americans or worse based off of his policies, based off of the things he's saying? We have people that really actually are very supportive. You have the crowd at the UFC match this last weekend. They were just cheering on Trump for his win. But there's less than half of America that is responding this way, which is kind of comical. And I found this one clip that I got to share just at least a portion of it with you.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done all of this. I'm sorry. No, no, no.
After the votes were counted and Donald Trump is the president-elect, the 47th president-elect coming in, he's doing a lot of things. He's wanting a lot of policies going through. He's promising a lot of things because he understands, and I think we all know that we are hurting. We are in a pain. We're all hurting, whether it's financially, whether it's going to the grocery store. There's a lot of different things that we're just tired of, and I think that's why Trump got the vote. But the question is, will Trump's presidency, will that actually improve the housing market or not, based off of the different things? And so we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into some of the things that he is promising that he's going to do, and we're going to, and how that could have a ripple effect into the housing market, how it could have a ripple effect into the economy. One of the things that I just want to bring up is his promise. Now, if some of you guys haven't seen this clip, this is Trump and one of his promises, because he understands with the Fed raising their interest rates, credit cards have been crushing people. Let's just jump into this article where they're talking about the repossessions, how the repossessions have been increasing because people are hurting, right? Car loans have the car loan interest rate have increased, but also credit cards have been crushing people. I mean, they jumped from, because they're on variable rates, they jumped from like a 10% APR to all of a sudden a 27, 26%. And what we're seeing is that the delinquencies on even car loans are increasing. The delinquencies on credit cards are increasing. And this one says that an online source for automotive information says June of 2024, APR used to be for new vehicles 7 and is now 11.5. And that's just car loans, right? That's something that they actually have something secured against it, where credit card loans are not, they don't have anything to secure it against other than your credit, other than being able to come against you. But Trump right here, he's promising something that I think a lot of people resonated with, especially those who had to pull out credit cards to start paying for things. Because the thing is, when people were hurting, I've been in many conversations with people where they've screwed up their credit. They were just trying to keep moving the needle forward. They were just trying to continue to live. And so their credit card balance, their credit, everything kind of got stretched and it screwed up their credit, which is going to lead us into another topic here in a little bit. But this clip right here, I thought it was pretty interesting how Trump is promising to do this.
Working Americans catch up. We're going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates at 10%. We have no choice. They're getting 22, 25%. We can't let people have to pay 25% and 22% interest.
I think this is a good thing. It's also can lead to a bad thing, right? So if people are having credit cards and they're trying to catch up, right? They're just trying, they're living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe they're having to put a little bit extra money on the credit card. Well, when that interest rate jumped from 10% to the 25%, 26%, that really makes it hard for just the American people to catch up. Now, the downside about him putting a cap on it is, one, he's kind of getting in there and government interference, right? There's government interference now. There's regulations. He's also going to go in and he wants to cut regulations. So this is like a two-edged sword, right? Like we cheer on like, hey, yes, we American people need help. At the same time, government is interfering with a capitalist market, right? So this double-edged sword can really hurt. The other thing that it can hurt is if he keeps pushing down these interest rates. So let's say he puts a temporary cap at 10%. That allows people to get ahead. The tricky part that we run into is if he forces all the interest rates across the board to go down, that can be a potential for higher inflation, right? If money is cheap again, like what we saw in 2020, when money was cheap, we're going to see a huge run in inflation because people are going to say money's cheap. I can go and I can put it on credit. I can do this. I can do that. And so there is this could be a disaster, right? Because most people who there are people out there that are responsible, and they just needed to get ahead, or they just needed to get a little bit more because inflation crushed them. And so this might help them get ahead. But those people who just like to spend frivolously, they just like to go out, this could really hurt. The other thing that he's talking about that's going to help bring down inflation is the energy costs, right? Like one thing that he's promised is that he is going to open up the pipeline. Now, I think this is a good thing, opening a pipeline, making the energy and making our gas costs, because across the board, it goes down as long as it trickles down, right? Again, when we live in a capitalistic nation, just because the cost of energy goes down doesn't mean the rest of the products are going to go down. They could stay high. The owners of the companies, the CEOs, all those people, they can now make more profit sometimes. Now, sometimes they will cut costs, but in order for them to cut costs, the demand has to go down. And the fear, again, of this credit card cap is, what if instead of people helping people who are responsible, what if it encourages those who are not responsible? So here's another clip of one of his promises where he says,
to the great people of America, I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
I think this is great, right? I think this is great that we are going to drill, and we're going to start, again, extracting our own oil instead of having to buy it. But again, this will only be effective if it trickles down, right? It's only effective if it trickled down. Now, if we're getting energy, yes, that's going to help us at the gas pump. But is it also going to help when the truckers' price is going to go down as far as what it's going to take to move supplies? Is the energy what it takes to make manufacture materials here in the U.S., is that going to trickle down to the American consumer? And we won't know until it goes into effect, but we know for sure that it's not going to happen overnight. One thing that he's bringing on is DOGE, right? The Department of Government Efficiency. And the nice thing about that is, well, let's just watch a quick clip from Vivek, and then we'll jump into it.
For $500 billion that's spent every year right now was not even authorized by Congress in the first place. They can't even tell you where it goes. We've talked a big game for 40 years about cutting the federal government, about reducing the scope of the federal government. Politicians haven't been able to do it. And so Elon and I, we're not politicians. We're businessmen. We're coming at it from the outside.
I think this is a great thing, right? When we're paying taxes and we're overpaying our taxes, right? Like, we're being taxed on the dollar we make. We're being taxed on the dollar we spend at the grocery store. We're being taxed on our cars, on our car registrations. So I think this is good, but I heard another clip from Elon Musk where he's saying that he wants to eliminate 80% of the federal employees. Vivek and Elon are talking about reducing the federal government by 80%. Now, the scary thing about that is, according to this, according to opm.gov, there's right around 1.8 million employees. So if they're going to cut the employees by 80%, that means there's going to be roughly around 1.5 million people, or 1.4 million people, entering back into the private sector. This could hurt unemployment if these people can't find a job in the private sector. It's not going to happen overnight. And, Elon was able to do that with Twitter, right? He was able to go in there and clean house. And so as long as this government efficiency, the Department of Government Efficiency, goes in and does it right, and it trickles back to the American people, I think that's going to help. Where are people at today? Is it too late? The question is it too late for Trump to come in and step in? I'm going to bring up just 4 properties. Maybe we'll only get into one or two of them, for sure 2 of them. But I want to just share with you what has happened here in the Treasure Valley. I'm going to start at the worst house, like the biggest short sale that I've seen so far, at least in the housing market here in the Treasure Valley. So this one is contingent short sale. So the bank has to approve this house selling short. It's currently at $1.15 million here in the Treasure Valley. But what we can do, if we go into the history tab and we look at what it was bought for, it gives us an idea of how much of a short they are, right? So obviously they have a down payment. Sometimes people will take out a HELOC in these areas, in the jumbo loans. There are programs out there where people will take out a HELOC as their down payment, if they have a high enough income. Now, I don't know all of that, but what I do know is that they bought this house for $1.45 million. So here, and that was back in 2022. So in 2022 to now, so we're talking roughly, it's going to be almost 3 years now. They lost $100,000 per year, right? Roughly. And that is crazy, right? So is it too late for Trump to come in and fix the damage that has already been done over the last 4 years? Something else that I'm going to bring up is a different house. So this house right here, this house is a short sale. So it took a little bit of time. It's been on the market. We look right here for 45 days. 45 days it's been on the market before it actually went pending. It looks like it went pending here a couple days ago. But again, let's go back to what they bought it for. So what they bought it for was $495,000 in 2022. We're talking $90,000 price decrease. So almost, what is that? Almost 20% that the home value has decreased from 22 to now, and they're having to sell it short. Now, I want to just go in here because, some people are like, well, if it's just listed at that, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's worth. Yes, I understand that. So this house was listed November 12th. It took a while for it to go pending. It took about 6 days for it to go pending. So if this was an amazing deal, and this was way underpriced, then you'd probably see more offers than just this one, right? But what ended up happening in just by looking at things is it's priced fairly, right? It's priced right along the same lines of what everything else is. And so you may not be getting an amazing deal. You might be getting somewhat of a good deal. Why I bring these two things up is we're talking about one house that lost $90,000, almost 20% in the span of 2 years. We're talking about another house that lost $300,000 in 3 years. Again, price ranges are different, but my question is it too late? I've talked to many people that have said, I screwed up my credit over these last 2 years trying to make ends meet. And if I had the chance, I don't think I could refinance my way out. I don't think I could redo my home mortgage. I don't think I could get out of this credit card debt. So I think these caps on the credit card is great, but it's going to take a long minute for the economy to recover in a way that we might see it rebound. Now, here in the Treasury Valley, yes, we are seeing people come in here buying cash. I just don't know if Trump can come in and save it in a year or 2 years. So my question is, do you think he can save it? Or is the mess that he's inheriting from this previous 4 years, is it going to be too messy for him to come in and fix?